Toronto versus Columbus Blue Jackets, Game 2. Hello everyone, my name is Norman. Welcome to OT1. It was an incredible game on the Leafs and Jonas Korpisalo's part. Probably a little subpar on the rest of Columbus. But anyway, let's get into the video. So last game, the first line was Hyman, Matthews, Nylander. The second, Mikheyev, Tavares and Marner. John Tavares and Marner were not compatible. However, Marner got back with Matthews on the line. And on the second line, we had Tavares, Mikheyev and Nylander again. The fourth was also changed with Engvall replacing Goat, but defensively, nothing changed. The game started intensely with Seth Jones dishing out a few big hits, as he always does, setting the tone for Columbus. But Kyle Clifford, ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Clifford. I wanted to see speed in the game. I wanted to see physicality. I wanted to see the Leafs get in Columbus's face. I wanted to see the Leafs want it. And Kyle Clifford just cannonballs into Kukan. It's probably an illegal hit that might get looked into by the league, just a fine, not a suspension or anything. It should have probably been a penalty. It should have probably been a 2-minute minor, but it wasn't called, and it sets the tone for the Leafs absolutely dominating the Columbus from the first minute up until the last. The Leafs really looked good in the start. They pushed Columbus back in their defensive zone. The Leafs get a power play. So for the entire postseason, the power play before that one had been 0 for 8. I can't fathom it. I can't wrap my head around it. A line with Matthews, Marner, Tavares and Nylander just can't seem to put the puck in the net. The power play obviously gets killed, and midway through the game, Zachorensky's hand is taped up. That's interesting. I don't know what happened exactly. He seemed to cope just fine with it, but it's definitely something that might be a factor going into Game 3 and Game 4, and perhaps even a fifth, if there is a fifth. So the second power play for the Leafs is really dangerous. Again, they can't convert it. It's 0 for 9. The power play needs to produce. It's going to be a huge factor going into Game 3, 4, and the playoffs. It needs to produce. We can't just rely on a 5-on-5 and hope that a keeper makes a mistake, or that we again get 35, 36, 37 shots every game. It's just not gonna happen. So right after the power play, we have a PK. It is killed, and there's a 3-on-1 for the Leafs, and we don't even shoot. They don't even shoot. It wasn't Kasperi Kapanen this time. I can't remember for the love of God who it was that didn't shoot, but on 3-on-1, they did not even get a shot. So the first ended with the Leafs absolutely dominating Columbus in shots, attempts, and time on offense, but it's still scoreless. And at this point, you're thinking, yet again, is it going to happen? Are we going to bottle it? Are we just going to have 30 shots? They're going to have 10 shots. They'll score one, and then we won't score any for the rest of the game, and we'll be 2-0 behind in the series. I saw someone propose a line of Matthews, Marner, and Clifford to counter Werenski and Jones, who were probably always on the same line. That's something that could be interesting, but I don't think Sheldon Keefe's going to do that at all. It would push so many players back into a second, third, fourth line, or even out of the line at all. That's not going to happen. But it would seem the Leafs actually can't keep it up in the second. The Leafs get a power play to start with. Korpisalo turns into a brick wall. It's a PK, then it's back on the power play. That's saved again. At this point, it's 0 for 11, maybe 0 for 12. They had 5 power plays. None of them would result in a goal. You'd thought Nylander scored the goal. He gets the puck close to the net, and you think he's just going to put it in the empty net, but it eludes his stick, and it just glides away. And you start to think doubt is going to creep in. You start to think it's just not going to happen. That's it. We had our shot in the first and the second, but it's just not going to happen. Korpisalo just saves everything seemingly. We probably wasted a good Frederik Andersen performance in Game 1 because he's very inconsistent. He did, however, seem to carry that form onto Game 2, but it's scoreless. So this wasn't a game where Jones and Werenski were phenomenal. They weren't even great. They were just okay. They weren't good. They were okay. They were there. You knew they were there. Offensively, they remained dangerous, but defensively, it wasn't like we were facing Prime Jones. It wasn't like we were facing Prime Werenski. Just Korpisalo. That was our weakness. However, on the 28th shot, Hyman gets the puck. He sees Matthews, and he thinks, Austin Matthews got a few goals this season. Let's give it to him. And on a simple but beautiful deflection, a very simple tip-in, Matthews opens a score. Korpisalo's beaten. And now the big test begins. Now it's a big test. Forget the PKs. It's not about the PK now. It's not about anything else. It's can the Leeds hold on to this lead? Can they produce in the third like they did in the first and the second? Can they even extend the lead? Can they just put this game to bed early? And we get a 5th power play for Toronto. And it's skilled. And that by far was the worst power play I've seen on the Leafs in a long time. And they're 0 for 12. They're 0 for 12 on the power play, but this was horrific. It was horrendous. And then Johnny Toronto, John Tavares himself, he gets on the breakaway. Don't look behind you. Don't pass it. Just try your luck. And he goes for it. And the puck ends up in the net. It's 2-0. Breathe. The Leafs remain positive. They don't try to defend a 2-0 lead. They know it's dangerous. We've seen Arizona earlier score 2 goals in 9 seconds against Nashville right at the end of the third. Don't concede. Don't give away stupid penalties. I'm talking to you, Cody Ceci, at this point. And what does Jason Spezza go on to do? He gives away a penalty. And it's beautifully killed. Beautiful. Jake Muzzin instrumental in the PK. And then we get another penalty. Kasperi Kapanen this time. And Kasperi Kapanen, he can be incredible. He can be such a good player. However, his day doesn't always come around. But he's so frustrating to watch. He is so frustrating. And then we see Jake Muzzin on the ice. And it looks serious. Then he's laying down. We get medical staff on the ice. 10-15 minutes. This not only takes a jaw away from victory, this by far overshadows anything. And it was a very scary moment. He was talking to the medicals and he could move his extremities, but it was a very scary moment. And it's been confirmed that Jake Muzzin will not take part in any of the next games against Columbus in this series. However, he is back in the bubble after a night at the hospital. It's not looking too bad, luckily, but I seriously hope he'll be fine, and I hope that he can still play come the playoffs if the Leafs do reach the playoffs. I can't imagine how difficult it is to play in that condition with 2 minutes left. You're on a PK. One of your players just has left to go to the hospital. You know he's going to the hospital, but you don't know what he's got. You don't know how bad it is. It was very silent, and this is really where the empty arena comes into play, where normally you would hear a few fans, but this was just complete silence. However, he's fine, luckily. Morgan Rielly gets a third on the empty net. Toronto win this game with a shutout. This is actually the first postseason shutout for Toronto since Ed Belfour in 2004. And there's 2 excellent games from Frederik Andersen. So this is going to do a lot of good for his confidence and for the confidence of the D-men right in front of him. I'll be interested to see if they can keep this up in the third. The Leafs that turned up today can truly beat anyone on their day. I truly believe they can. The Leafs that turned up in game 1 can be beaten by anyone. They could concede 5, 6, 7 against a team like Detroit if it wasn't for Frederik Andersen. Usually when they're facing someone like Korpisalo on the day, or when they're trying the best and it just doesn't want to go in, we see the Leafs crumble and give up right in front of our eyes. However, they continued playing hard, they continued getting the chances, and it paid off. So I'm going to be positive. I really don't want to be negative, and I'm going to say that they can actually keep this up going into game 3. I hope this didn't take too much out of them, but again, I'm going to be positive. They can do it in game 3, but again, we shall see. So this has been it for the Leafs versus Columbus Blue Jackets Game 2 review. I'm obviously trying to do many more videos. I can't watch all the games. I can't review them all. But I'm doing my best. I love doing this. My name has been Norman, and I thank you very much for watching OT1.